But she did some other shit, Cameron, that would have really pissed you off.
What, pray tell?
She told me she took points off on my paper because she was my English teacher because I said New Orleans East. She said that wasn't grammatically correct. That it's Eastern New Orleans.
Bitch!
And then she told me it was pronounced Matari and not Metairie.
How the fuck you gonna tell someone who lived in the city since they was born how shit is, motherfucking what? See, that could...
I know that the decision for me to homeschool my last son was because of the environment that he was in, and I wasn't going to subject him to it any longer.
And do we want to elaborate a little bit on it? You feel comfortable?
I don't give a shit.
Welcome back to the Pragmotiv Podcast, where every week we tell it like it is and get you motivated to be the change you seek. It's your boy Trey.
And Steph.
It's Kameron.
And welcome to episode 13. So today's theme, y'all, is Beyond Classrooms and Bells. Why with this thing? Okay.
Already?
I knew something was going to happen.
Look, trying to be all technical.
It got to freeze up. All right. So what happens when millions of parents start walking away from the public education system? Not just for religious reasons, not just because of school safety, but because they no longer trust the system itself. So in this episode, we're diving deep into the growing homeschooling movement and its rapidly evolving cousin, the micro school. We'll unpack why so many families across political and socioeconomic lines are opting out of public education. We're also unpacking the efforts to abolish the United States Department of Education and what could our schools and our society look like if that becomes a reality. But first, we gotta talk about what's happening in the news, of course, from the Republicans' manufactured scandal involving AOC's Met Gala attendance to Trump's ongoing Epstein scandal. So let's go and get into the briefing room. So starting off with AOC. The Republican House Ethics Committee says AOC broke the rules. CNN is reporting that in a report released Friday, the committee said that Ocasio-Cortez, quote, proactively took steps to comply with House rules, including using personal funds to rent apparel that would typically be gifted or loaned to Met Gala attendees. But the report states that, quote, despite Representative Ocasio-Cortez's significant attempts, the committee found that she failed to fully comply with the gift rule by impermissibly accepting a gift of free admission to the 2021 Met Gala for her partner and by failing to pay full fair market value for some of the items worn to the event.
So it's interesting how when it's a Democrat, the Ethics Committee calls out the slightest infraction.
And you know, with the Republicans, we have to use that term loosely, ethics.
But they can hold contracts with the government while serving in Congress. Or like what's his name? Corey Mills from Florida, holding contracts or pay for sex, Matt Gaetz, or trade stocks with insider information, a bunch of them.
So this is that same committee, since you mentioned insider trading. This is the same committee that found that Republican Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania apparently didn't feed insider information to his wife, so they say, even though she bought 5,000 shares of stocks in a steel company the day after her husband learned of an upcoming Commerce Department investigation that could lead to tariffs favoring said company.
Oh, bitch, y'all transparent.
Now, this was back in Trump administration number 1. All of this allegedly occurred 5 days before the information was public, which is the definition of what?
Insider
trading.
trading. Why isn't the SEC or the whoever's over that?
So she acted on the info that her husband was only privy to because he was a congressman. Then sold those very stocks in January 2021 and made a whopping $65,000 in profit, allegedly. So see, they convinced me with this bullshit, y'all, because to me, this is very blatant. That was more of an open and closed case than going after Alexandria.
Yeah, for something slight like the Met Gala.
She got a discount on a dress. This is the dress she wore. She got a discount on this dress in 2021, or because she received the free admittance to the gala like everybody else does.
Right. Who pays to go to the Met Gala?
So,
especially when you're wearing a brand's merchandise.
Yeah. And for, you know me.
Brands get their tickets and give them to.
Exactly. And I had to research this because, of course, if we was going to talk about it, I wanted to know how it goes. So the tickets actually are like really expensive. I think they like $50,000 or something.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was like that.
But the brands buy the tickets.
Guess I won't be going to the Met Gala.
Well, the brands, if you ever went to the Met Gala, then a brand would invite you. So like in Alexandria's case, she went as a guest of Vogue. So Vogue paid the price for the tickets, and the ticket price goes to the nonprofit that, you know, that goes to
that's their fundraiser.
Yeah, that's what the Met Gala is. So it's stupid because you're not going after other people. It's very transparent and apparent what you're doing.
Right.
I'm messing up all these words, y'all, because
we
had a time
maddening.
Today getting ready for this show.
Well, besides that, I mean, this is just really, it pisses everybody off. It pisses me off. I hope it's pissing y'all off because it's not fair.
It's not.
I'm talking to our viewers right now. I hope it's pissing y'all off. It should, because they just blatantly just. It's no more fairness. And it's just about owning the libs. It's just about just being just cruel and unfair and partisan.
Yes. And what I hate about the moment is now AOC is going to have to go back and pay out of her pocket for this ticket.
And she not doing what the rest of them doing.
No, she not insider trading,
right.
so she has $65,000 laying around.
$65,000. There you
Allegedly. Go. I'm so sick of this shit.
And this is a clear and blatant double standard that the Republicans always impose on the Democrats.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that some Democrats are actually starting to fight back.
Yeah,
but
they really do
enough.
need to fight back. They need to fight fire with fire. It's time out for all of the, we're going to play by the rules and we're just going to, I feel like for the last few, for almost a decade, they have been just trying to shame them into doing the right thing. Them, I mean, Democrats trying to shame Republicans into doing the right thing and appeal to their better selves. They don't have better selves. Nope. Not the ones that's in Congress. All they are is bootlickers.
Yeah. And devoid of morals.
Oh, Lord, devoid. Absolutely devoid of morals.
All right.
Morals, brain cells, you name it.
Anyways, moving on to the scandal that refuses to die.
Right?
Trump's favorite subject, the Epstein saga, continues. So it's, as much as Trump wants to turn the page on Epstein, he keeps pouring gas on this fire. Whether it's him saying he has the right to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell if he wants to, Todd Blanche going to visit Maxwell in prison, or them moving Maxwell to a minimum security prison, he's the one keeping the spotlight on this. So let's start with Todd Blanche.
All right. So Todd Blanche is the Deputy Attorney General of the United States. As we talked about in last week's episode, Ghislaine Maxwell, she was convicted in December of 2021 of a bunch of sex trafficking crimes, and she was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. So here's exactly what she was convicted of. Look at this. She was convicted of conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, conspiracy to transport minors to participate in illegal sex acts, transporting a minor to engage in illegal sex acts, sex trafficking conspiracy, sex trafficking of a minor. And I wanted to read those because I feel like it's important to keep reminding people that this woman was convicted by a jury of her peers of these crimes against minors. They say they've been looking, this man barged into a Washington area pizza parlor. Mm-hmm. Remember Pizzagate? Looking for child sex trafficking Hillary Clinton. She was supposed to be running a pedophile ring out of this basement of this pizza place that didn't have a basement.
A basement?
It did not have a basement.
You didn't know that? That was like the biggest fucking
revelation. That was before I was into politics.
Mm-hmm. I think these MAGA people stormed the place.
They did. The guy went in there with a gun.
Oh,
and the man was like, "We don't even have a basement."
So, but this woman, they are like just talking about her like, "Oh, she's a victim." I heard one of them on say that on the air, that she it seems like Ghislaine, she might have been a victim.
Oh, so now they just done moved over to protecting the PDFs.
Mm-hmm. So back to Todd Blanche, the PDFs. Todd Blanche spent 2 days down in Florida interviewing this lady, this woman, this inmate. She was granted limited immunity to answer questions supposedly about others involved in the crimes that she and Epstein committed. So the first point is this. Todd Blanche is Donald Trump's attorney. He was his criminal defense lawyer in the New York trial where he was convicted of the 34 counts. Just because that case is over, that does not mean that he is no longer his lawyer unless they have agreed to part ways, which there's been no reporting on that. And it don't seem like, because he's still looking out for Trump's interests.
Exactly.
Just because he's the deputy AG now doesn't mean he's no longer looking out for his interests. In fact, that's precisely the litmus test for being in Trump's cabinet or being on his
That's your number one qualification.
team. Right. Loyalty. This is a complete conflict of interest because his chief interest, of course, is protecting Trump. Not to get at the truth, not to find out who the other men were that participated in this. It's to protect Trump. And I mean, you can't not see that that's what this is about. Secondly, it's not the norm for the deputy AG to go and interview a witness. They don't do that. That's for line prosecutors to do. And Todd Blanche damn well knows that because he was a line prosecutor in the Southern District of New York before he became Trump's lackey. So, also, Ghislaine Maxwell faced perjury charges in addition to the charges that she was convicted of. She lied under oath about her assets, about giving Annie Farmer. Annie Farmer was the first victim that they knew of that came forward. And she lied about giving her a massage, and she lied about a bunch of other stuff. So nobody should expect Ghislaine Maxwell to be spouting the truth about anything. So what in the hell is really going on here?
I mean, even the most truthful person would lie to get out of prison.
Nah. And apparently we can only infer that she has given them something that they like, seeing how, wait for it, we learned Friday that they've moved her to a minimum security facility in Texas. Check out this article.
So, USA Today reports that Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell quietly moved out of Florida federal prison. Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted sex trafficker and longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, has quietly been moved from a federal prison in Florida to a lower security facility in Texas, a Federal Bureau of Prisons official confirmed on August 1st. After learning about the transfer details, you're going to have to help me with this name.
Virginia Giuffre, and I'm going to explain who she is for those that don't know.
Giuffre's family and two other alleged Maxwell and Epstein victims issued a statement excoriating the administration for the move. Just a side note, I went over this in the rundown and still forgot how to pronounce it.
He's not good at pronouncing names.
Lord. Trump has sent a clear message today. PDFs deserve preferential treatment and their victims do not matter, said the statement by Giuffre's surviving siblings and also Annie and Maria Farmer. The New York Times recently reported that Maria Farmer, a former Epstein employee, told law enforcement in 1996 that she encountered Trump in Epstein's New York office, and Epstein told Trump, "No, she's not here for you." Annie Farmer, one of several women identified in Epstein's criminal case as a victim, has charged that the disgraced financier acted inappropriately with her when she was 15.
So, by the Bureau of Prisons' own rules, convicted sex traffickers are not eligible to be housed in that type of facility. So, who gave them the waiver that was needed for her to be moved there? And more importantly, why was she moved? Like I was saying before, the only reason for her to be given
My
better
guess
place
would be Donald John Trump did it.
Right. The only reason for her to be given a better place to serve out her sentence is because they got something from her. Like her cooperation or her... I'm not going to say it. So I just want to explain who Virginia Roberts Giuffre is. Virginia Roberts Giuffre is... that's whose family they were referencing in that article. She was 16 years old when her ordeal started with Maxwell and Epstein. She worked at Mar-a-Lago. She also said they pimped her out to Prince Andrew. Her accusations were credible enough for Queen Elizabeth to strip him.
That's what I'm about to say. Who is Prince Andrew? What the fuck?
Her accusations were credible enough for Queen Elizabeth to strip Andrew of his title, and they paid her a settlement. Sadly, she committed suicide in April of this year. And this is something that we cannot allow to get swept under the rug any longer. They're protecting Trump and all the other men who were involved in this. These files need to be released, even though they have redacted his name. They need to be released. And they need to go, and I don't know if the statute of limitations, I'm not sure there is a statute of limitations on child sexual assault or sex trafficking. I'm not sure. But if there isn't, if the statute of limitations has not run out, all those who partook in that need to be brought to justice, because that is just, and it's just the hypocrisy of these people who claim they claim that Hillary Clinton was running. Actually, they claim that it's powerful Democrats
No, there is no
who
statute
are running a cabal
for the federal
of
government.
PDFs. Mm-hmm. So
Cameron don't like algo speak.
yeah, and I'm learning
No,
algo
it
speak
ain't
because I
that.
was about to say the
It's
whole
just
word.
the audacity of these.
Immoral.
No, say what you want to say, Cameron.
Of these fuckheads to say that Democrats are doing this?
Yeah, but the lady who created Chip is harming children.
Right. Because that's what,
That's what people
you
do.
when you're a child predator. You
This
create
is-
a whole
Healthcare program to help make them healthy.
This is
And now them conspiracy theory
Redonkulous.
nutheads is going to say, well, she's doing that because she has a guilty conscience.
do Trump have a guilty conscience? Allegedly. My
apparently
opinion.
not.
I don't even think you got to say allegedly for that. We know he don't have no guilty conscience of no kind.
Y'all, like I told y'all last week, I watched those 2 documentaries on Netflix. And all of the research that I've been doing to prepare for these episodes, I really, you feel so icky when you finish reading about
Yeah.
what they did and you finish watching stuff where they detail what they did to these girls and how many girls it was. They estimated it was between 500 and 1,000 girls that Epstein trafficked. I mean, it's just the underbelly of the scum.
Yeah. And see, I haven't been able to dive as deep as you've had to because you've been carrying the show for the last, 3 weeks. Because we're preparing for something big, guys, that we're going to be able to tell y'all about in just a few short weeks. That's been taking all of my attention behind the scenes. But it is very, I don't know what the word is, just mentally draining, I guess.
Yeah,
When
it really is.
You have to be locked in on this stuff in order to present it.
But we're
it's
committed.
important.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. We're committed to doing that because we feel like our country is in a fog. I guess I would describe it as a fog of lies. The truth is just being attacked and they're trying to beat it down.
Yeah, distorted reality.
Yep.
Some days I wake up and I'm like, this has to be some fucked up dream. Because things just don't make sense like it do in your dream.
It's like we're in the upside down world.
How you be in
I
your
half
dream and you be
expect-
trying to pee and the toilet be running away from you?
Or you be trying
No.
to get on the phone
That
and
don't happen to
call.
y'all.
You be trying to get on the phone and call 911 and then the phone and then you dial 998
892
348
9*1.
and then you be trying to smack the hell out of somebody, but instead your hand go through them or some shit.
That's literally how this feels.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we literally like laugh to keep from crying sometimes because it's just. I mean, and some people might look at us and say, "Oh, you're being alarmist," or but we're not. It really is. They are tearing this country down. We have Gestapo now.
And if we don't put a stop to it,
I forgot. I don't know how to say algo speak.
I think that's fine. I mean,
no anything to do with.
I mean, other people say that.
But that's what they are. A secret police force.
And if we don't put a stop to this country is gonna go. And you don't want to be nowhere near this bitch when it fall.
Nope.
It will
And
make
if you want to know what's going to happen, go watch Pragmotiv Plus.
It will make Rome look like a toppling Jenga tower. That's what the fall of the United States will do.
So, will Trump pardon Ghislaine Maxwell?
Nah. I'm taking bets.
We're not moving on to will he pardon Ghislaine Maxwell?
I'm taking bets that he will.
Oh, okay. See?
Woo! It went
Okay.
over your head?
Yeah, it went over my head. So he continues to muse about the possibility of pardoning her, much to the dismay of the victims and their families. So Politico reports that Trump reiterates that he has the authority to pardon her. Trump told reporters, well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it. Nobody's asked me about it. It's the news about that aspect of it. It's in the news about that. I'm sorry. It's so hard to fucking say what Trump says.
Orange taco dude.
That
We
aspect
know
of it.
you have the power to do it.
But right now, it would be inappropriate to talk about it, he said, as he talks about it.
Right?
Maxwell's
Jennifer
attorney,
Coleman.
David Oscar Marcus, who, by the way, is a friend of Todd Blanche, the deputy attorney general, said, we are appealing not only to the Supreme Court, but to the president himself to recognize how profoundly unjust it is to scapegoat Ghislaine Maxwell for Epstein's crime.
Really? Shout out to Jennifer and Pumps. Taco tits. We know you have the power to do it, but you should not pardon a PDF.
PDFs
could
flock
hear-
the fuck together.
I could hear him.
Yeah,
nah.
because we could do a whole
Why
show
they keep
on the
talking
people that's
about
in his
PDFs? There's no files here.
No files. No files.
The Eurofile.
between. I could see him and what's that lady McMahon with her A1 sauce.
So she has been trying to get her conviction overturned, and she, as in Ghislaine Maxwell, has been trying to get her conviction overturned on a technicality that has no bearing on her situation, saying that the government's NPA or non-prosecution agreement with Jeffrey Epstein should have extended to her. Her argument is that the language in the NPA was broad enough to cover her, so she should not have been prosecuted. The government's argument is that the NPA only applies in Florida and not New York, where her trial took place.
I mean, they're just pulling at all kinds of straws, and this not so coded plea to President Taco to pardon her because you don't have any standing. Your
Stay your
case
ass in jail,
was in a
Vector.
whole nother jurisdiction. You were not a part of the Florida agreement.
And the Despicable Me fans will
I
know
mean,
why I just called her
Why is this
Vector.
even a discussion? I mean, everybody knows that unless you signed your name at the bottom of the motherfucking agreement, then you're not a part of the goddamn agreement.
Nah.
I mean,
But
that's just basic contract.
They're trying to
101.
argue.
It's maddening.
You know, it really is maddening, and it's
What
maddening
was
for
her job
lawyers.
before?
I know that lawyers are supposed to rigorously represent their client, but I also know that lawyers are not supposed to. They have ethics. Supposed to have ethics.
Do they?
The law
don't
is
know.
a precise endeavor, and you can't be walking up to the judge on some bullshit thinking you gonna get what you're asking for.
Well, apparently some of these judges accept the bullshit.
Well, that's the Trump taco rider.
So, y'all, that's
I
it for
can't say
Briefing
what I
Room this week.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the switch millions of parents have made.
Technical difficulty.
Y'all, this new system we got is just
It's just
not systeming.
It's not systeming.
I don't know what to
Bear
do.
with us.
You want mine?
No. I want mine. I want mine to act right. Ta-da. Oreo. So, homeschooling. Back around 1999, less than 2% of U.S. students were homeschooled. But by 2023, that number had jumped to roughly 7.2%, or about 3.7, almost 4 million students. And in places like Tennessee, Alaska, and Idaho, the percentages seem to be high. They seem to have a higher percentage of kids being homeschooled. Now, some of the increase was caused by the pandemic. But there was a definite uptick trending before the pandemic. So it was on the rise. And afterwards, parents just didn't put their kids back in school. Some say that because trust in the system was already eroding.
Okay.
But is that the number one reason? We don't know. The rise in homeschooling is being fueled by a number of things.
So it's really is a convergence of multiple issues. So here we go. We have ideological, so religious or moral issues. Some think that public schools ignore these things. You have the safety, of course, so the uptick in school shootings and bullying. Special needs, some parents feel that the schools just don't get their kids. Parent fatigue, so high stakes testing, rigid schedules, and a one-size-fits-all curriculum. And then you have the politics, where you have critical race theory and the book bans, the gender policies, the don't say gay bills.
Yeah.
And some parents just want to escape those culture wars.
What the fuck is critical race theory?
Critical race theory, I can't really... It's not what they say it is.
Yeah.
It's something that was only really taught in law schools. And they're saying that a lot of the liberal institutions are teaching that, and they don't want their children being taught critical race theory. Nobody's teaching that.
To erase the history of slavery. They don't want students to be taught that this country was built by slaves.
Our ancestors were slaves. Or some of our ancestors.
Well, if you don't want that, then you should
Some
have
of them
told your
worked on the
ancestors
railroads.
not to do that.
You should have told them motherfuckers not to do that. You should have also told them motherfuckers to take their motherfucking powder wigs off. Because they look ridiculous.
So, school shootings are a definite concern for a lot of parents.
Yeah. They, yeah. I mean, I know if y'all was still in school, it would be for me because, I mean, some of the workers, remember last week with that shooting in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the workers that were in that high-rise building where, what's his name? Shane, I can't remember his last name. The man who drove from Las Vegas and
I briefly heard about it. I don't know all the
he was trying to draw
details.
attention, and I don't want to give him credit, but he had mental health issues. His suicide note said that he was trying to draw attention to CTE because he had played football in high school, and one of the note that he left, or that they found in his wallet, talked about that. And I think that they speculate that he was trying to get to the NFL office that was in the building. But he ended up getting off on the wrong floor, and he shot people that was, for another company. But my purpose for bringing that up is that some of the workers that went through that ordeal, they barricaded themselves in a room, and it's like they said they knew what to do because they had these drills all through high school for school shootings.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really sad that
you
know what to do when a gunman comes into your workplace because you was drilled in school.
And that it's
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The last time I was in school was the early 2010s, and it was I didn't even think nothing about that.
And that's what I was about to say. When I graduated in 2012, we didn't have those kind of drills. Now, I don't know if other schools were having those drills. It's just me being private school kid. I didn't have that.
Yeah, and in
I
my
think that's
public school, we
because-
didn't have nothing like that.
Well, I
Shit,
think
they
that's
wasn't even
because
doing fire
took-
drills.
when they rebuilt that campus after Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
They took extraordinary measures they thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2005, when y'all were in Texas, y'all didn't have those type of drills?
No, but when I went there, because here in Louisiana, we have school bags. So when I went to school first day, I was walking around school with my school bag on.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher really was mean to me, like yelling at me frantic. And I didn't know what the hell was wrong. I'm like,
What is wrong with you, bitch?
I'm in trouble because I have a school bag at school? But apparently that was their school shooting protocol that
you had to have a see-through bag.
that you couldn't have a bag at all.
Well, then you need to tell a motherfucker.
Exactly. Like, if this is one of y'all's rules, then maybe
That should have been shared with me when I put y'all into school.
Yeah.
Knowing that
So
we coming from a hurricane.
they told me, well, you didn't notice nobody else had school bags? Well, no, I just lost everything. Maybe I'm not paying attention to what everybody else is doing. Maybe I'm just trying to get through the day. So apparently we were supposed to.
So basically, if they about to jump off the school roof, I'm supposed to follow them because that's what they doing?
Apparently.
I know I sounded so old saying that,
I know.
but it make motherfucking sense.
So I was supposed to bring my school bag into school at the beginning of the day, go to my locker and take all of my stuff out and put it in the locker, and then take a binder and bring the binder from class to class.
So I gotta carry something in my hand.
Well, what the
And then
girls?
pray tell what the damn books are for.
What are the girls supposed to do with for their feminine products? Where they supposed to put that in the binder?
Well, as a sixth grader, I did not know. Didn't know. I can't answer that question for you. But anyway, here's the thing. It was totally different from where I came from. I came from a private school, which again, I said we're gonna talk about this in our Katrina episode, which is coming up for the 20th anniversary. We keep talking about it, but I'll go into detail about it. But what they did to me was they just assumed that because I was coming from New Orleans, that I was coming from this poor, I don't even know what to call it, ghetto place.
You motherfucking
Because the
racist
teacher,
ass bitch.
yeah, the teacher was like, "Did y'all have computers? Did y'all have books?" This is what they asked me.
You bitch.
What did you tell her, Trey?
I was so, I don't know, dumbfounded. I mean, I had never experienced that before. I was 11, and I just didn't experience that in New Orleans. Even though, like, for most of my elementary school, I was in black schools. So, of course, I didn't experience that kind of microaggression racism.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to middle school, and it was a white school, that was not the environment. It was a very welcoming
they didn't tolerate
environment.
that.
It was a
That's
family
why
environment.
we put y'all there.
So I didn't have that.
Trust me, you wouldn't have been there.
Yeah. Nah, the school that I came from, we had to buy our own books. Okay? So yeah, I carried a school bag around all day with me, and I had to keep up with my books because my parents bought those books.
Right.
So yeah, that was
We
a
didn't
big
get books given
transition.
to us. We had to buy the books.
That was a big transition for me to go to, I don't need to carry my books with me because you just use the books that's in the class.
Then
But
what
they
you
didn't-
got books for?
They didn't give me books. It's just
I thought you had books in your bag.
No, I had like the binder. I had some notebooks in my bag.
So how are you supposed to do your homework?
You get your bag at the end of the day.
So I gotta go to the locker, get my bag, then go
Yes.
back in the classroom?
Yes,
You
because
inefficient asshole.
yeah, because my 8th period class was my 6th period class was in the basement, and then 7th period was on the first floor, and 8th period was next door on the first floor. So when the bell would ring, I had 5 minutes to leave the end of the hall on the first floor and go upstairs to the second floor outside of my homeroom to get my bag and make it to the bus, or else I was going to be stuck at school until mama got off from work at 5 o'clock.
No, man.
And then I would always get to the bus last because I was unlucky and my homeroom was on the second floor and there would be no place to sit down.
So you had to stand up?
See, I never had school with upstairs.
I stood up all the way to school
So I
on the
don't
school
know.
bus. Because St. Mary's only had 2 buses. That bus used to be packed.
That can't be legal. I never understood why you don't have seatbelts on the school bus. But we done got off on a whole tangent.
I'm still talking about school. And after that ordeal, I mean, I didn't know about a lot of that.
I know.
If I had known, maybe I would have homeschooled you next year.
Yeah. But see, it's
But,
crazy.
you know, school
during
shooting.
that time, we all had our own things that we was dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to get y'all in school to try to give y'all some semblance of normalcy. But like we say, that is a consideration for a lot of parents.
Oh, I didn't tell y'all. I said all of that to say, but I didn't get to tell you what she did to me. So I sat down in her class and she was like, "Get up right now. Get out of here." And I'm looking around like, who? And she was like, "You with the backpack. There's no backpacks allowed in the school." And I'm like, the fuck? No backpacks.
On glue?
In the school. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And she just put me out in the hallway and I'm just standing there like,
I wish
what the hell?
I had the ability to travel back in time and possess you. Because I would have told that bitch something.
This
he
was the
was in
same
6th grade, Cam.
This
I
was
was
the
in
same.
raised
4th
to
grade and
talk
I went
back.
off on a teacher.
Now she ended up being one of the best teachers I had there, but she did some other shit, Cameron, that would have really pissed you off.
What, pray tell?
She told me she took points off on my paper because she was my English teacher because I said New Orleans East. She said that wasn't grammatically correct, that it's Eastern New Orleans.
Bitch!
And then she told me it was pronounced Matari and not Metairie.
How the fuck you gonna tell someone who lived in the city since they was born how shit is, motherfucking what? See, that could...
I mean, you can laugh about it now, but I'm sure at the time it was not
Matari?
Matari. Metairie?
Matari. I know you motherfucking lying. In Eastern New Orleans. I dare, bitch. Eastern New Orleans.
Like they don't realize, yes, in the English language, it is correct
Yeah.
to say
So I
Eastern
guess
New
Lakeview
Orleans.
But
is
in
we're
the
French.
Romance languages, like
We're
French and
influenced.
Spanish, it's behind.
So I guess Lakeview is
View of the lake.
northwestern New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no motherfucking north and south in New Orleans. It's lake bound or river bound.
That's just the kind of stuff that I had to deal with.
So
And
do
it's
you
like-
wish you was homeschooled?
Yes. But I will say, as we keep into this topic, we keep going deeper into this topic, I do feel like there's trade-offs because
No, there's definitely
you
trade-off.
get protection from idiocracy like that, but then you don't get the socialization.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, I didn't really socialize with much of them out
They
there,
didn't really treat you right. So
Of
why
course.
would you?
but some people I did. So it's like that was a very shady Mom.
Whatever do you mean?
The viewers ain't gonna understand that.
Sorry.
They're not gonna understand that I came from an all-boys school and went to a school that was co-ed. So I had a lot of friends who were girls.
That's all you're going to say?
Yes, that's all I'm going to say. So moving on. According to reports, the homeschooling phenomenon is evolving. There's variations to it as well.
Yes. Here's a term I bet y'all never heard before.
Well, they did hear it because we said it in the intro, but before today, we ain't never heard of this shit.
Nope.
A micro school. You heard of micro schools, Cameron?
No.
Can you guess what it is?
Guess.
Why is y'all gonna put me on the spot? For why?
Because it's fun. So, what the hell is a micro school, you ask?
Yes.
I bet that's your exact question, huh? So micro schools
Change hell.
to what?
You know.
Okay. Micro schools are like the boutique hotels of education.
Go on.
So picture classes of 5 to 15 kids of multiple ages. Mm-hmm. Parents take turns teaching or pool their money to hire a teacher.
Oh, Lord.
Classes are held at someone's house or a community space. More structured than homeschool, but more personal than traditional public school. And some are part of a national network. And there's
a couple of
businesses, or maybe, I don't want to say businesses. Maybe they nonprofits. I don't know what their structure is, but companies called Prenda or Acton Academies. So
this screams like something gonna happen.
The entrepreneur in me is like, why the fuck didn't I think of this? This is so marketable.
Yeah.
I mean, what do these places like? I haven't looked at them, but what do Prenda and Acton do? They probably just connect people with other people who want a micro school.
Delve that deep into it. I was just surprised that there's a network of micro schools, but
that's just
like
so
the entrepreneur in me would be like, okay, that's a business model.
Let me go start one. Pragmotiv Academy.
Get your mind right.
I'm sure the Republicans would give you money for it. They seem to want to privatize everything.
Yeah. Wait, you are some liberals. Yeah, and what, bitch? I'm running my check.
No, we're not saying everybody with an accent like that is a Republican.
No,
because I heard
we want to be
some Democrats who talk like that. But when I thought of an angry Republican, I don't know why that just came to my head.
That's the ones that be on
that's
TikTok.
How they sound when they on social media.
So what makes them different is the flexibility and personalized curriculum. And in some states, there's no state testing. And there's a real emphasis on creativity and independence.
Yeah, and I know some parents, because it's like, I know some parents and students would be glad not to have the testing.
Yeah.
They just test to death.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have all of that testing when I was in school. It's like,
no,
you taught. You didn't teach to the test. You know?
And in private school, it was, we would take the SAT,
but you didn't have
it wasn't like how it is now.
Yeah. And then the damn standardized test. I don't know if they changed it. Apparently, I heard when the last time I was in school before I was homeschooled, I was hearing that they was changing to quarterly standardized tests.
Quarterly? Now that's just too much stress.
It really is.
Because I get like hellified test anxiety.
To get annoyed at a whole week of testing.
Test anxiety. And
at the end of the school year.
Yeah.
Every year, every semester, because when I was in high school, we had semesters and not quarters because it was college prep. So every semester, when we would do the final exams, I would break out, like, I would just scratch so much because I was that nervous. Because you hear the teachers tell you, oh, this is like X% of your grade. And I would do good all throughout the semester because my philosophy in school was just focus on doing good on each assignment. I wouldn't worry about my overall grade. So I would always go into my exams,
Not
with A's or B's. But if I fuck up that test, now I'm going to end up with a C or a D. So it just would stress me out.
I never had test anxiety like that.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I just really didn't care. So I would get by, but I really didn't.
You wasn't trying.
I wasn't trying.
No, you weren't.
Mama said, no, the fuck you what? I remember the first time I went to take that ACT test, and I was sitting there at that school. It wasn't my regular school. And I don't know why my eyes watering. I can't see. And I was just sitting there, and little ants just started crawling up the desk. I got up and walked out.
Where'd you take
And
that?
I would have threw another
Over
chair.
there? Oh,
Not in my normal neck of the woods.
I would have threw another chair.
See, you would have got in trouble, Cameron.
They had already pissed me off at one school and made me throw a chair.
Yo, it's safe to say Cameron doesn't get along with authority well.
No, it wasn't a teacher this time. It was a student. One of my classmates had pissed me off.
Well,
The next thing I knew, the chair went across the room.
I know that the decision for me to homeschool my last son was because of the environment that he was in, and I wasn't going to subject him to it any longer. So I had to make that choice. But you do trade off, like you said before, there's trade-offs.
Yeah.
And it really does take a lot. So I can see.
And do we want to elaborate
The
a little bit
value.
on it? You feel comfortable?
I don't give a shit.
I can see the value in like the micro schools, because if you're pooling your resources to hire a professional, or if you're taking turns doing the curriculum yourself, it takes a lot of the pressure off of one person,
Yeah.
and so
And you could be with like-minded individuals.
you could be with like-minded individuals. You can
and have a
be
protected
relatively
space
safe.
where you
Right.
don't have the bullying that was an
So
issue.
there's that. But then the socialization part that the student doesn't or may not get, because there's ways to get the socialization. We know people who homeschool their kids.
Yeah, but things have changed because of unsafe environments and PDFs and things that have happened in a lot of organizations where you don't have
You
a lot
don't
of
have
businesses and organizations taking
Yeah.
the risk. So I feel like in today's day and age, you don't really have these spaces for kids to go in. So maybe the
to get
micro
socialized,
schools
yeah.
are better. But then again, coming from a place where I was, in a youth group, a counselor for a youth group, it is hard to manage that. You can't say that in your micro school that wouldn't happen. Because in order for a micro school to
You mean
work,
PDF stuff?
yeah, because what are the parents doing for work?
That was my biggest question when we were preparing for this episode, is like, I know that at the time that I homeschooled one child, I was running a business. So I was running a business while I was doing that.
Yeah.
So we had a space in order to do that. I was in control of my space and of my time. But parents who have to work, if you a nurse,
But just a few years earlier, when I got so sick for my last few years of high school,
Yeah,
it
I couldn't
cost your
work.
career. So You know, I don't know what they're doing. But then again, the economy is so different now that people, they make more money at their side hustles than you can't really keep. The loyalty ain't there for a 9 to 5.
Nope.
Because they're not loyal to you.
Yeah.
So it's very
just
interesting,
a
y'all.
fucking
It really
shame
is. And it's
of a
something that we didn't
situation.
know about is micro schools, you know?
But how do you keep your kids safe in the micro school? That's what I was
Right.
trying to say. Because you can find people you are like-minded with, but if you're at work and they're taking care of your kid,
Can you really trust them?
they still outside
Yeah.
of your, outside of your view.
Right.
And it's not in a school environment where there's so many different eyes
Yeah. So that's
and you're in somebody else's house. So for me, I don't know.
yeah. That's a big question. That's a big question. But it is a privatization play too.
Of
Think about
course.
They often fund the micro schools with vouchers and
These more vouchers, all
ESAs
these
or
damn
education savings
vouchers.
accounts.
Mm-hmm.
That money used to go to public schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now it's leaving. So what's going to happen if more and more parents choose to take their kids out of the public school?
The school boards and ISDs are going to fail.
And I think we have a pretty unique take on this because, us growing up in New Orleans, y'all knew that the schools wasn't what y'all
No.
wanted them to be for us.
No, the New
So
Orleans.
y'all struggled to pay
Right,
private school tuition,
right.
and you would have welcomed a voucher.
Oh my goodness! I would have welcomed to be able to send my kids to the kinds of public schools that they have, say in Texas. I can
Yeah.
speak to that because I know somebody. I know how the Texas ISDs are funded, how they're run, and those schools are top notch. I mean, I don't feel like my friend's daughter got any less of an
Yeah.
education than y'all got, and I had to pay through the nose.
Yeah, like
Arm, leg, toe, pinky toe.
upwards of 10 grand a year. But here's the thing. If the state had offered you a voucher to cover that 10,000, you would have wanted to take it.
I sure would have wanted to take it. I'm not gonna sit here and lie.
But the problem that they don't talk about is the legality of this. You can't take public dollars, give it to private institutions who have their own standards for admitting students. I mean, the school that I got into had a very rigorous process, selective process rather, for being admitted. You had to prove that your grades was this good.
You had to have an interview.
Have an interview.
You had to write an essay.
I had to write an essay, a whole bunch of stuff that I had to do to get accepted. So how can you accept public dollars, but then exclude the public? So this is,
Something I didn't think of.
this is a problem. And I that's why I say it's like a unique, we have a unique perspective because I am a product of private education, but I don't hate public education. I don't think it's inherently bad when it's managed right. You can run a school system right, but you could also run it wrong. And a lot of people, I feel,
And I know
They
of
do run it
two
wrong.
school boards, and one I have high regard for, and the other was just trash.
Yeah.
And the one where I was subjected, if that's a word, if I said it right, I don't know,
subjected.
to?
subjected to the bullying. That was a poorly run school in
It's
a poorly
in a poorly run
run
district.
Yeah. But that district got money.
No.
So money is not always the reason things are run bad or good.
But the school board I was in before we moved from New Orleans Metro was really good. And I enjoyed my school. I enjoyed my teachers. And I had kids that were friendly and not assholes.
Yeah,
Like
and
it
the
was.
funny thing is, you enjoyed that better than the private school you was in the year before, huh?
Yeah. Because my teacher was a bitch. My teacher was a bitch. I had 3 grades at that school. The 3. Kindergarten, first and second. The second grade teacher was a bitch. First grade, I liked her. And I really loved my kindergarten teacher.
Okay, so why does this thing keep doing this?
What it did?
Because it wants to fuck with you.
I'm trying to see where the face part is because it's just not reading my face today.
Because Apple, when they first did that generation iPad, didn't put it where it needed to be.
Well,
And it also might not be working right because I got iPad OS 26 on it.
oh, Cameron. He always upgrades to the newest stuff before they ready
Apple
to handle
made
it.
the developer beta free, so I'm taking advantage of it.
Okay, so now let's talk about the Department of Education.
Yeah, because it's really under attack.
Miss A1.
Yeah. Ms.
So there's
A1 in charge of it.
There's been a big push by the conservatives to do away with the Department of Education, and this isn't as simple as closing down a bureaucratic governmental department. It has real implications, and if the Department of Education goes away, so does Title I funding. So cutting this funding means that schools serving low-income students could lose major support, resulting in fewer teachers and larger class sizes. Experts estimate this could eliminate over 180,000 teaching jobs nationwide. So notice the thread here. They attacked with that big ugly bill healthcare, which was a stable industry, and now you're going after teaching jobs, which is another stable industry.
But look at what
This
Title I
economy
funding
is going to crash.
Look at what Title I funding covers. This is who they're trying to pull the support from. I don't know if I want to say it another way, but
It's too late.
no. I mean, low income students. So you're going to pull the funding, and I think the vouchers and those type of things. Who has money to put in a savings account to pay for school?
Not the average American that don't have a $300 emergency fund.
Especially not in Trump's America.
Right?
There is no free money to just put somewhere.
They want to remove the federal oversight. So that's the next thing they want to do, which would allow states to decide how they want to run schools, including how they treat students with disabilities. This could create huge differences in school quality depending on where a child lives.
So
a
child with ADHD or a child that needs an IEP, you just gonna be shit out of luck.
Yep. And, some people, I think, always pass judgment, which you shouldn't pass judgment on what level of special needs a child needs. But everybody's mind, to me, goes to the worst case scenario when they think of IEPs, the individual education plans or stuff like that. But sometimes kids need IEPs, and it's not what you might think. Like for me, I needed that because of my severe asthma and allergies.
Because you could not
I couldn't be
attend
around
school.
people.
You couldn't go to around, right.
So
Had that not been there, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, and maybe one day I'll get to telling y'all that story. What would have happened is what probably, what ended up happening. Me having to do it on my own. But, it's not right. And not everybody has the determination,
Right.
and just stubbornness that I have to get something done.
Right.
And you shouldn't put people through those kinds of
But they don't
stressors.
care. They lack the empathy to care about other
have
people.
no shame.
Yep.
All they care about is who's lining their pockets and their billionaire friends.
Yep.
And it's something that's been on their to-do list since way back in Reagan's administration. They've been wanting to get rid of the Department of Education.
We didn't talk about the ESAs though. Before you get to that,
Oh, sorry, I'm
the
skipping
vouchers
ahead.
and the education savings accounts will shift money away from public schools to private or for-profit schools. So that's like what we was talking about. Could be these micro schools. So these schools don't have to follow the same rules, report data, or serve all students equally, like what we was talking about a little while ago. So public money may end up supporting unaccountable organizations. So,
Right. And so, like I was saying, this is something that has been on the Republicans' agenda for decades, really, since way back Reagan. So the Department of Education as a federal entity, a department, was it was enacted under Jimmy Carter.
mm-hmm.
And they have wanted to get rid of it ever since then. And they claim the idea of getting rid of it is for smaller government, like they always tout. And
That's
for
a lie.
doing what's right for the kids. For what kids? Because if you're going to take away Title I funds and make it to where leave it up to the states, there goes that term again. And everybody can just do what they want, and there's going to be no equity, no equality, you know? So Jonathan Butcher is a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, and this is what he says is it should be smaller government and doing right for the kids. But it would take an act of Congress to get rid of it. They're trying to
Kill it from within.
doge it
Yeah.
by cutting the funds to it and by firing,
Which
a
in
bunch
a
of people.
normal America, the courts would be
step in.
getting him for that because you're in effect circumventing the law.
Right. So they want to break up the department. They want to break the department's function up. They said, let the civil rights enforcement be the DOJ's purview. But they've already gutted the civil rights.
Yeah, because the DOJ, they just,
But they've already gutted that. Let the
Pam
U.S.
Bondi, she's really like the person to champion civil rights.
Shit. Fuck Span Blondie.
Let the Census Bureau collect all the data on student performance and that kind of thing. And then let the Bureau of Indian Affairs, I have a problem with that name, but anyway, the Bureau of Indian Affairs look after the needs of Native American students. Yeah, because
They're not Indians.
why not?
Okay,
It's done so well
I'm
by
still
them
stuck on the Census
far.
Bureau because, this may be me being misinformed because I don't know what else the Census Bureau does. But to my knowledge, don't they just conduct the census every 10 years? What else does the Census Bureau do?
Maybe that's why they think the census can keep up with the education data.
With the employees that they probably surge hire every 10 years. If they paying the people to do the census, they're probably volunteers.
No.
Like the people who work the polls.
I don't know. I don't really know if you get paid to go around and do the census. But I mean, I just know that you need statisticians to collect data.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who can't pronounce something tonight.
Everybody has problems with that word.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
I dare you.
Nope.
But really, it's just more bullshit. They want to dismantle anything that protects or helps marginalized or underprivileged or poor people or you name it, disadvantaged people. They just want to.
I think I was a whole 7 years old before I could say Massachusetts.
Yeah, I remember. Massachusetts.
Shut up, Kameron.
Massachusetts.
All right. So now here's a good question. I should have went to the next block before I said, so now here's a good question.
Working Working for the U.S. Census Bureau, whether as a field representative, e.g., census taker or enumerator, or in a clerical role, is paid work, not volunteer.
Okay.
It's
How bougie?
$18.73 an hour.
It's way better than minimum wage.
Yeah, I guess.
That should be minimum wage. As in, minimum wage should be $18.
I
I want to clarify.
Yeah.
I'm following you now.
And if I had the power to set it, I'd make that bitch $25 an hour. That would be minimum wage in Cameron Williams' America.
And CEOs across the country will have a collective popping of the
conniption.
damn blood
A
vessels.
conniption fit.
Like Stewie said. All right, so
When
good
people got more
question.
money, they buy your product. So, bitch, you still stand to make more money. I mean, it ain't rocket science.
You got a parent.
So here's a good question. Do homeschool kids actually do well?
I mean,
The data, Cameron, says yes.
Yeah. The data
Homeschool
does say yes.
students score 15 to 30%, 30 percentile points higher. I hate that word. I don't know why. Percentile points higher on standardized tests. Graduate college at higher rates than public school peers and often outperform in GPA and critical thinking. But But equity is an issue. Not every family has the time or resources to homeschool, like what we
That
was talking
brings
about.
us back to what we were talking about before.
And
Like,
even
how
though
do you do that?
And even though they do well, they can face challenges in areas like lab sciences, socialization, and extracurricular.
Yeah, how you gonna dissect a pig in your house?
shit, not in the
no.
house.
Not my house.
No formaldehyde?
Hell no.
My
I remember that
house
whole wing
haunted by
of
a
the
pig.
school. And we was in trailers at that point, and it smelled outside there. I wouldn't even go on that side of the campus.
Well,
What, the pigs was thinking?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
yeah. The anatomy of a pig is, some parts of it is, I mean, they actually use some parts of pig, like valves. They use pig valves in some valve replacements for humans.
What? Well, shit.
Yeah, so I mean that's one of the challenges we were talking about. It's like, how are you going to learn the scientific method, Cameron? How are you going to learn that?
I do think the extracurriculars and the socialization is a really important part of it because that's part of real life. You know, you got to be able to
That is
communicate
important, but
with
so
people.
is learning how to what you're gonna have to do in college, which is dissect a frog or
Yeah.
a pig or
I mean, we
Nah.
already
You got to rank if you was ranking what's more important. I mean, people choosing not to go to college these days.
yeah. There's
But
that.
I see too many people who are in the doctor's office or in the store or in the dealership trying to get service for their car and can't talk to people. Or worse, the people who work there can't talk to the customers. So it's a problem.
Yeah.
It'd be like that T-Rex in the movie. I don't like confrontation.
Oh,
I mean-
Professor.
I went to the dealer the other day for service and they didn't say nothing to me. They was just,
They let you stand there at the counter and didn't greet you.
mm-hmm.
Well, that's just lack of customer service. I don't think that's lack of socialization.
I mean, this is the generation that
They
doesn't like
seem
to
like
go
they
in
wanted
the
to
gas
melt
station
away.
to get.
They seem like they wanted to fade into the background.
Uh-huh.
This is the generation that don't want to go in the gas station to get the receipt.
Well, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, me too.
I'll talk to people.
I mean,
but
so am I. I don't want to go and get the receipt. Why can't you print the receipt from the thing that prints the receipt?
because they don't want to put the paper in there.
Well, that's just lazy.
But I read that they do that shit on purpose because they feel like if
Oh,
they
they want
bring
you to
you
come
in the
in
store,
so you can,
then
"Oh, I
you'll,
want that."
I want a drink or I'll buy this candy bar.
No,
Well,
I
joke's
just
on
want
them.
some
I don't
gas.
eat candy. Ha ha ha.
I don't know, y'all. But many colleges, getting back to the homeschooling, many colleges are actively trying to recruit homeschool students because they feel like they have a better grasp, or they're more mature. They're more, well, independent learners.
Shit, I was
Yes.
more
Which
mature back when I
What
was
you're
in
doing
school.
now in school these days, you're independently learning, especially if you're going to go online.
Well, yeah.
You basically
and
teaching
to be
yourself.
successful. I mean, I think that if it wasn't for what happened to me with my health and what happened to Cam and needing to be homeschooled, we wouldn't have the independent drive to be able to do this.
No.
So it's
Yeah,
you know,
that's the point.
it's a trade-off. Because when you are in school, especially like traditional school, I would say my high school was a little different because it was like college prep and they kept us on our toes with like a rotating schedule and shit. But when you do the same thing every day, Monday through Friday, you being told where to go, what time to be there, what you do, and it's just the same repetitive thing. That's not really how life is. Life throws you curveballs.
Yeah.
Like what happened today when we had all these technical difficulties and threw our schedule off.
You're right.
And you have to be able to react to it in a
And
healthy
adapt.
way and adapt. You can't just shut down.
Right.
And I do think homeschool helps with that a lot because, you know, it's more of an uncontrollable environment in some ways, I would say.
Now, there's always been this push and pull between proponents of public school and proponents of it's so. I felt like sometimes I've gotten this from people. They're kind of against private schools.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pay your fee, get your B. I had somebody tell me that one time when I was in graduate school. Pay your fee, get your B.
I felt it. That's
Like-
why I was looking like that. Because,
Like I didn't
like
work
we don't
my ass off
earn-
to be able to get into that school.
Yeah.
And most of the time, private schools' curriculums are a lot more rigorous and a lot different and a lot better than public school,
Yeah.
especially here
Some-
in Louisiana.
sometimes.
Not all the time. Because like I said, there are some very good school districts around the country who are really doing some, you know.
But I was just talking about Louisiana.
but
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Louisiana.
You talking about, yeah.
That's our experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Louisiana has some good school districts, but by and large, I don't know where the rankings are at right now. But I know over the course of my time as a student and trying to educate my kids, the school systems where we lived, there was only one place that we lived that the school system was top notch. And
And overall, Louisiana, I'm not sure if Louisiana still ranks last, but for
so
a
why
while
do y'all
we
think that
had.
is? Is it that they're not putting enough money in the schools? Is it that, you know, what do y'all think makes
I think
these
that
parents want to opt out other than the things? Do you think it's, you know, what rank it? How do you think it, where does it fall?
I think it
The
all
reasons that they
goes,
wanna take
like
them out.
especially here in this state, it is about the overall economy. And it's about what resources do you have in a community. If you don't have a roaring economy like places in Texas have, I mean, when you cross the state line, you immediately see what a state that gets an adequate amount of money in tax revenue looks like. I mean, the interstates go from 2 lanes to 3. And
And
the
speed limits
speed
go up.
limits go up. And you don't have blacktop
I
roads,
don't
you
think
got
the speed
concrete.
limits have anything to do with.
With the schools, I'm getting there. Let me cook.
Let you cook. Okay.
But what I'm saying is, it's the community investment. in the overall system. So if we don't have the tax dollars here to put into the schools, if you don't have the population to feed into them, then for the most part, you're not going to have a good school system. You're not going to get a lot of people who want to locate here to teach. You're not going to be able to pay the teachers because you don't have the money in the budget.
Because you don't have the tax base.
Exactly.
25,000 people have moved out of the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, this
year.
And New Orleans is the biggest city in the country.
And then there's
that has I'm not saying it right, but it's the
fastest shrinking city.
Yeah, the fastest shrinking major city in the country. Thank you,
And
Kim.
it has
why.
the educational problems of Louisiana has an economic consequence.
Yes.
We are not going to get any kind of businesses or retail places locating here, headquarters or otherwise.
Yeah, because even, if you have money to hire people, can you convince somebody who lives, I don't know, in the Pacific Northwest to move to Louisiana?
No.
I mean, you would probably have to pay them 5 times. And that's not sustainable for your business.
Nope.
So it is a problem.
There's a larger thing if we go to like a bird's eye view and look at this on a national scale. If you're going to get rid of the department that tracks student performance to try to make recommendations and standardize curriculums across, so that students are educated to a certain level. I mean, in Europe, their high school is like equivalent to our college level. This is what they get.
Yep.
And so what does that mean for the United States as a whole if you're going to defund public education, if you're not going to make sure that students have what they need? You're not going to have anybody to work as your, here comes that word again, statisticians, your data scientists, your engineers, your doctors, all of your nuclear physicists. I mean, you're not going to have that.
I ain't gonna try.
Statistician.
Y'all comment that word in the comments if y'all could say it.
Statistician.
Let us know y'all got to the end of the show.
The next administration, or what the Democrats need to run on is education reform. That needs to be in one part of their plan. Because we need to jump these grades. We need to get on the level of these other countries.
The school that I went to, which I'm not going to name names, but they actually did jump the grades. That was something that they did a few years after I left that I thought was interesting.
Well, explain that to me. What is that?
Because
the
that would be an
people
example.
who are in 7th grade there now are actually doing 8th grade curriculum.
Oh.
That's what we need to do.
Challenge them. I always felt challenged at the school that I went to. And you might not want to say names, but I'll say it.
Well, you can say names.
I mean, it was a college prep school. And even the elementary school that I went to, which was not private, it was public. It, at that time, it felt like the same. There was no, what can I say? I was prepared to go to the college prep school, having gone to the public elementary school, but that wasn't the norm. They put the resources in that school because of where the school was located. And that's the kind of thing that you found back then, that, certain schools got the resources.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
All right. So that's all we got for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and I hope y'all learned some new stuff, like what a micro school is.
I learned what a micro school is.
So as we always say, we really appreciate y'all for getting to the end of the episode with us. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials at Pragmotiv. And y'all, we promise we are working on something big behind the scenes, and we're also working on becoming more active across all of our social platforms. Y'all don't know what a heavy lift this is to be able to produce this stuff and get it out. So
yeah, we don't have a team. We are the team.
it has been a struggle to be active across TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all of the other social platforms, but we are working on it. We do hear the feedback, and we are making it a priority. So just so you don't miss anything, go ahead on and follow us at Pragmotiv everywhere. We are on all of the platforms.
Right.
And don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube, like the video, comment. We want your comments. It would be really nice to have some feedback. So please.
Yeah.
And even though we don't ask, please subscribe. And I've been getting on myself because I forget. I try not to be annoying, and I had this same
hit that button.
I had this same kind
Smash
of
the like
philosophy
button.
when I was, on my channel. I don't like to bombard y'all and keep saying subscribe. And like every time we say something, but before we answer that question, subscribe. But please subscribe. And tell your friends and your family and your cousins and
Tell
your
your mama
mamas
them.
and your aunties to subscribe.
Tell your dog, your cat.
No.
Tell everybody.
Mama
Find
said,
somebody on the
"Nah."
street.
All right.
Tell them.
So we also got the bonus content, of course, at pragmotivplus.com. So go ahead on over there and subscribe there as well. I think that's it. So again, we appreciate y'all. And until next time, you know what you got to do. Remember to stay
Pragmotivated.
Peace.
Peace.